This is Block 9, The Liberal Establishment, Section 2, Camelot, with the section The Assassination of Kennedy. In November of 1963, with an eye on re-election, Kennedy traveled to the swing state of Texas, which he had barely won in 1960. He was there to calm down the state's white voters after he had thrown his weight behind a civil rights initiative, or more than one civil rights initiatives early in the year. And here's a picture of him and his wife Jackie landing at Dallas Airport. While he was traveling in an open car in Dallas through Dealey Plaza, he was shot and killed. And I will show you the Zapruder film. Here is a film of the assassination. It is the only film of the assassination. It's the best. It's the best look at what happened. It's about 30 seconds long, so bear with. The Zapruder film, you're of course welcome to go look that up on your own. Zapruder, Z-A-P-R-U-D-E-R film. You can see all the different silly conspiracy theories that are out there about it, but here is Kennedy's assassination in the Zapruder film. Here's President Kennedy right here. It's slowed down so you can get a basic look. You can see he's reacting to 3 shots. That's the second one. And here comes the kill shot right after he passes. Right there it is. That's his wife jumping to the back to get the Secret Service guy's attention, and off they drove. Kennedy died, shortly thereafter without ever regaining consciousness. His brain was blown out. Police arrested very quickly thereafter a man by the name of Lee Harvey Oswald, a communist sympathizer who had spent time in Cuba and had spent time in the Soviet Union as well. Oswald had killed a police officer after he had killed Kennedy and was taken into custody. He admitted to killing the president. 2 days later, this man, by the name of Jack Ruby, shot and killed Lee Harvey Oswald as he was being transferred from one, jail cell, I guess, to another. The press could not believe that it was a communist who had shot Kennedy. In the immediate aftermath of the shooting, they assumed that it had been, a racist southern redneck type of person who had done it. And from the very beginning, conspiracy theories started percolating immediately. There's lots of them out there. I don't think any of them hold much in the way of water. Kennedy was killed by a communist lone wolf, a slightly mentally disturbed loner by the name of Lee Harvey Oswald. All of the evidence, if you look at all of the evidence in combination, points that direction. Of course, you're free to go on the computer and look up all the conspiracy theories that you want. Regardless of who done it, Kennedy was dead, and Vice President Johnson took the oath of office aboard Air Force One with Jackie Kennedy standing by his side. She still had on the dress that was spattered with John's blood on it. And Johnson promised to continue Kennedy's policies. Kennedy was celebrated even more in death than he was in life. The martyred president. Camelot, this ideal of Arthurian, wonder of the early 60s, was celebrated by the press and by American culture, and to this very day. His ideals, his spirit, his enthusiasm inspired a generation of Americans, and that there's no denying that Kennedy was an inspiring figure. Lots of people were inspired by him, including a young Bill Clinton. And even as time has gone on, and in the last 50 some odd years, lots of negative things about Kennedy have surfaced. His constant unfaithfulness to his spouse, the fact that he, constantly was cheating on her with multitudes of different women, his drug abuse, the fact that he was very often had so many painkillers in his body that he really couldn't function very well. He was addicted to the painkillers. His connections to the mafia, they became knowledge, but the myth of Kennedy was never shaken. And to this day, if when the American people are polled, President Kennedy is always ranks as in the people's minds at least, one of the greatest presidents who ever lived. And that's the myth of Kennedy. It says a lot about America, a lot about democracy, a lot about, the power of the press, a lot about, a good-looking guy with a nice smile. Kennedy was an effective president in ways, and when we look at Vietnam, when we look at civil rights, later in the block, we'll see what Kennedy's, honest contributions were to the United States, and they were definitely many good contributions to the United States, but the myth endures to this day, and you can go online and see lots of conspiracy websites about Johnson killed him, the mob killed him, the military killed him, the CIA killed him. But suffice it to say, he was an inspiring figure. He did inspire President Johnson to continue his programs, and became an American hero in a lot of ways. And that's John Kennedy, killed in November of 1963.